This video is sponsored by BenQ. Stay tuned to the end for more. Destiny 2 has been out for one long time. If the roadmap for Destiny 2 was the same as Destiny 1, then we'd be getting a new game right now. Destiny 1 started out with Destiny 1, then we had 2 expansions most people try to forget about, the DLC that saved the game, and finally the DLC that wasn't as good as the previous one, but was still pretty good. It got extra points for me because I think snow in games is just always cool. The year after Destiny 2 followed a similar path. A base game that wasn't awful, but was largely underwhelming, 2 expansions that didn't fix any of those problems, a big DLC that fixed all those problems, and another DLC that didn't innovate much, but also didn't do much of anything wrong. Instead of following Shadowkeep with Destiny 3, we're getting Beyond Light, and then 2 other expansions in the years that will follow this one. Holy gigabyte. Obviously that's a lot of Destiny to cover. In preparation for Beyond Light, I thought it would be a good idea to recap everything that's happened so far in the Destiny 2 timeline. Now I know you people are busy, and I know I'm busy. So this video is not going to go super in-depth on every single piece of lore. Instead, I'm going to be explaining and giving you guys a refresher on all of the most important story beats thus far. And as I'm sure you already know, this recap will be done completely in true Timbo SparkNotes fashion. Also, thank you to YouTube and all the people who, did I say pleeple? Also, thank you to YouTube and all the people who upload the cutscenes because I definitely did not keep all that footage all these years. Gotta save room for the 100 gigs that is Destiny 2, you know what I'm saying? Also, before we get started, shameless plug, I know, but in my last video I mentioned that I recently made a video game and you guys can play it. I made it in just over a week's time from scratch using Unreal Engine, and I wanted to share it with you guys. It's basically a Halloween-themed version of Pac-Man, but it's in third person and has some survival horror elements. You can use the link in the description to download it on PC, and if you want to learn more about the project, you can click the card in the top right of the video to watch my overview. The reception so far has been overwhelmingly positive, and your feedback on it means a lot to me. But you came here for Destiny, so let's get into some Destiny. Destiny 2 starts out with a recap of Destiny 1. What do you know? It's like a recap in a game about another game within another recap video about said game. 1 year after the Siva Crisis, or as I like to call it, Twizzlers from Hell, a region of the Cabal known as the Red Legion launch an all-out assault on the Tower and the Traveler. Leave it to the biggest, stupidest alien race in all of Destiny to finally do the most obvious thing. Frickin' attack the Traveler. The thing literally just sits in the sky. Instead of just blowing the thing up, the Red Legion's leader, Gaul, attaches a big device to the Traveler in the hopes of draining all the light from it and using it for himself. Your attempt to defeat Gaul are futile as he drains you of your light and punts you off his ship. Days later, you find a non-Guardian woman named Hawthorne who takes you to a haven in the European Dead Zone known as the Farm, or the Tower 2.0 that is used for the campaign but then never visited again. A whopping 1 mission later, your light gets restored thanks to a random shard of the Traveler that was just sitting there all this time in a forest within the EDZ. Dare I even bring up all the plot holes this creates? Hashtag oh crap, I don't care that doing this removes so much tension and conflict. This is an RPG and we need those kids to level up and be raid ready, baby. Make them aliens go boom boom. While getting your light back is great and all, there's still some big problems that need to be fixin'. Grammatically, that made no sense, but you still knew what I was trying to say. We need to get the band back together, so it's time to find Zavala, Ikora, and Cade and get the Traveler back, hopefully ripping Gaul's discount Bane mask off in the process. You're able to receive a distress call from Zavala, who is on the watery moon of Titan. On Titan, Zavala is admittedly feeling a little down on himself, but quickly springs back into action by seeing that you were able to restore your light. After killing some Hive, Commander Sloan learns that 1, the Red Legion were dispatched here due to a distress signal that was sent out 2 years prior during the Taken War, and 2, they possess a super weapon known as the Almighty that can destroy stars. This Almighty has been used before, having destroyed an entire star system, and now it's positioned near the sun, breaking up the planet Mercury as fuel. And I thought gas prices were high. God, the dad joke freaking killed me. At this same time, Gaul and his mentor known as the Consul have taken the speaker hostage. In their conversation marked by a weird intro and outro logo sequence, it's shown that Gaul overthrew Cabal Emperor Callus and took control over the Cabal. The Council urged Gaul to study the Traveler, and it's been Gaul's mission to use the light for himself to legitimize himself as Emperor. You're able to locate Cayde on the planet Nessus, doing whatever it is that Cayde does. With the help of an AI from the crashed starship Exodus Black, you're able to find Ikora on the moon of Io. Ikora traveled to Io to find the answers about the Traveler, and when you find her, she is in full depression mode. With the help of Ikora's new planetary friend Asher Mir, because they all need one, you gather intel on the Almighty through the use of a Warmind. Back at the farm, the Vanguard reunites. Cayde has a chicken now, can't forget about the chicken, and the team comes up with a plan. They decide that the only way to retake the last city is to first shut down the Almighty. So you head on over to Mercury and do just that, taking down the super weapon once and for all. Because you're the all-powerful guardian that does all the things, silently and all by himself. Or herself, this is 2020. Once this occurs, Zavala and the Vanguard launch a counterattack back on Earth. While this is happening, the speaker tells Gaul to kill himself, which is something to this day I cannot believe is a line in a professionally made video game. What a meme. The Council isn't having any of this, so he goes and kills the speaker very uneventfully. When it happened, you'll look and be like, did that just happen? And you'll be like, I don't think that happened, but I guess it did. That's the feeling it leaves you with, very impactful. Rest in peace, Bill Nighy's contract. The Council also becomes enraged at Gaul, admonishing him for his obsession with the Traveler. But since he's just one big, angry, Bane-looking space turtle, Gaul or Gary gets all mad too. Instead of talking things out like some civilized turtles, Gaul turns on his mentor and strangles the Consul, proclaiming that he will take the light. After fighting through tons of Cabal, you're able to catch up to Gaul and start battling him on his ship. Gaul takes the light by force, but since you can indeed do all the things, as I stated before, you're still able to defeat Gaul. However, Gaul strangely emerges as this ethereal figure who speaks to the Traveler directly. By doing this, the Traveler awakes and destroys Gaul once and for all. Yes, I've been waiting to make that rhyme all video. The shockwave sent out by the Traveler's awakening destroys the Red Legion's forces and their machine, as well as restores light to all Guardians. Unfortunately though, the shockwave goes out so dang far into the solar system that it clues in a bunch of spooky looking pyramid ships in on the Traveler's location. So while the game ends on a happy note, all will certainly not be well for too long. Now, Curse of Osiris and Warmind do have stories, but for the sake of setting things up for Beyond Light, they don't do a whole lot. Basically, Ikora's mentor Osiris is stuck on Mercury in a place called the Infinite Forest. You go in and you get him out. Warmind is a little better, which has you defeating an entire hive worm god, with the help of the Warmind Rasputin, who is successfully awakened by Anna Bray on Mars. A year later, we move on to Forsaken, which begins with a prison break occurring at the Prison of Elders. Forsaken centers largely around Prince Uldren and Queen Marasov, two awoken characters who were thought to have been killed by Oryx at the beginning of The Taken King in Destiny 1. You and Cayde meet up with Petra Venj at the Reef with the hopes of stopping the breakout. But Cayde forgot to pack his salicylic acid, because he's eventually taken down by a new enemy race made up of undead fallen called the Scorn. The Scorn destroy Cayde's ghost, and despite putting up a good fight, Cayde ultimately bites the big one at the hands of Uldren himself. The Awoken Prince finishes the job with Cayde's hand cannon, the Ace of Spades. Uldren escapes with the Scorn Barons off to do some evil scheming. After the events at the Prison of Elders, the other Vanguard members hold a funeral for Cayde, as Bungie has just murdered their most beloved character. Ikora wants revenge against Uldren, but Zavala keeps her head calm, reminding her that protecting the last city is more important. So you decide to go out on a little revenge mission on your own, just like pretty much everything else you do. You're able to track Uldren down to a place called the Tangled Shore, where you meet back up with Petra. She introduces you to Spider, the leader of a fallen crime syndicate. The three of you establish an alliance and head out with the intentions of eliminating the Scorned Barons, one by one. It's soon revealed that just because Uldren survived the Battle of Saturn at the beginning of The Taken King, doesn't necessarily mean he emerged without some issues. It's pretty apparent he's become corrupted by the darkness, as he is supposedly guided by visions of Mara to free her from some unknown location. I guess wherever she is, getting a shard of the Traveler wouldn't hurt. It's not like anyone realized it was sitting there. all vulnerable and stuff over the past year, and you know, thought it would be a good idea to guard it or anything. You then go on a Western-inspired killing spree, wiping out the Scorn Barons one at a time, hoping that with every step you're getting closer to destroying Uldren and his stupid little haircut. You receive intel from Petra that Uldren is headed for the Awoken Watchtower in the Tangled Shore. After fighting through Scorn in and out of the Ascendant Realm, you catch up to Uldren, seeing him offering the Shard and his darkness to open a gateway to the Dreaming City, which is the Awoken homeland. However, in probably one of the frickin' weirdest Destiny moments ever, Uldren is met by this monstrosity, not Mara. So, plot twist, it wasn't Mara talking to him in the visions at all. It was this grotesque, taken creature called the Voice of Riven. You're able to put down Sepic's Prime on acid, and after some desperate dialogue coming from Uldren, shoot the prince off screen. With the Ace of Spades, of course. Double down. Look at them fall. Yeah, my Shaxx impression could use some work, I will admit. Back at the tower, characters feel differently about you killing Uldren. The game didn't give you a say in the matter, so there's that, but Zavala warns you of consequences that will come from this, while the Drifter, he's loving it. In an attempt to find the real Marasov, you and Petra figure out a way to get into the Dreaming City. You discover that Mara is stuck in a world of her own creation since her confrontation with Oryx. She explains that Uldren was corrupted by an Ahamkara named Riven of 1,000 Voices, a powerful dragon-like creature that's the last of its kind. Ahamkara can grant wishes like genies, and this one in particular was taken by Oryx during the Taken War. Freaking Oryx, man. Dude died 3 years ago and is still causing problems. With the fire team, you go in and defeat Riven in the Last Wish raid. However, in an attempt to purify Riven's heart, you accidentally unleash a Taken curse upon the Dreaming City. Nice. While you seemingly end the curse by defeating one of Sabathun's daughters, it's revealed that the Dreaming City curse resets itself after every 3 weeks, repeating the process over and over and over again. And on top of that, a ghost named, get this, Pulled Pork, I am not making this up, finds Uldren's dead body and resurrects him as a guardian, awaking him with no memory of his past life. What a mess. Someone grabbed the bounty. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, just wait until you see what Eris has been up to. While investigating the hive on the moon, Eris accidentally unleashes some big evil force that is revealed later in the story. Zavala sends you to the moon to help out, because of course he would, and on your way into the Scarlet Keep, you stumble upon Eris's big oopsie. A freaking darkness pyramid ship on the moon. Eris just went and woke that up. When trying to approach the ship, you're attacked by nightmares of Crota, Gaul, the Fanatic, and others. For once, this is a fight you can't win, so Eris zaps you on out of there just in time. Overlooking the structure, Eris asks for your help to find a way inside the pyramid. There's a whole bunch of things that happen over the course of this process, but they're essentially just a bunch of fetch quests where you have to get this thing to build this thing that will get you to be able to do this thing. The main goal of finding a way into the pyramid doesn't change though. Eris starts getting haunted by nightmares of the dead members of her fire team though, which is pretty cool, I guess. After creating a full set of armor and defeating a bunch of nightmares created by the pyramid featuring the hive, you manage to get inside the pyramid. However, this may have not been such a good idea, especially because you went in all alone as usual. Ghost immediately gets possessed by the darkness, using it to taunt you by speaking of the light's failures and weaknesses. You then defeat the nightmares of Gaul, the Fanatic, and Crota, which leads you to an altar with an unknown artifact on it. Upon touching it, you get a vision from within the Black Garden, with a fleet of pyramids in the sky. It's there where you encounter the darkness itself, taking the form of you, claiming to be not your friend, not your foe, but your salvation. Taking this information back to the tower, the Vanguard concludes that the darkness is preparing for its return, threatening a second collapse, because the first one was just so much fun. A portal is soon found on the moon leading to the Black Garden, thanks to the artifact that was picked up on the pyramid, kind of signaling its location. After battling through the garden, a second pyramid vessel is found. While this seems to be some communication device, Eris warns you to not be swayed by the messages the artifact communicates, to you. After this, not as much exciting stuff happens in my opinion. Eris is able to get rid of her little fire team nightmare problem, you kill some more Hive in the Scarlet Keep, stop the Vex trying to interfere with the Black Garden, kill the Undying Mind an obscene amount of times, reunite with the Titan Saint 14 on Mercury, Zavala becomes friends with Rasputin, you kill Nokris hopefully for the last time, Savathun reminds you that she still exists and is coming to kill your face, and all the while the darkness draws ever closer. All of these events leading to Jupiter's moon, Europa, that whenever I say just makes me think of the Greeks, as the darkness possesses ghosts again, declaring that an ancient power is awaiting them there. So a lot to unpack there. Since we know the names of the 2 expansions after this one, it's pretty easy to figure out what they'll be about. Savathun, and then the darkness. So personally, I'm thinking Beyond Light is going to be more akin to Shadowkeep, a kind of darkness teaser, developing other characters in the meantime while the darkness just kind of inches their way towards the earth. But at least the Stranger is back. That will certainly be interesting, as well as seeing what the Drifter is going to do, if anything, because he's kind of shady. Those characters have been involved in Destiny 2, but up until this point, it's mostly been hidden away in the lore. So when the time comes, you can be sure to see a video from me breaking down the entire story and ending of Beyond Light in detail, just as I did with Shadowkeep last year. To not miss that content and more, make sure to subscribe. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you found the video helpful, leaving me a positive rating is greatly appreciated. Make sure to check out Jackman by clicking the link in the description. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, just kidding actually, the video is not over. I mentioned at the beginning that this video was sponsored by BenQ, so I'm going to take some time now to talk about their ScreenBar desk light. This is something that BenQ sent me a couple of weeks ago, and I've been using it ever since on my desk. It's kind of like your typical desk lamp, but with a nice twist. It sits really comfortably on top of your computer monitor, so it's kind of minimalistic in that way, where it gets out of the way of other things, which is it is a big deal for me, considering that I really use up my desk space pretty much all with screen and monitor. So at one point I did want to have some type of lamp, but it actually didn't fit. So having this one sit on top of your monitor, kind of like it's a webcam or something, is really cool. The other cool thing about it, some features, is that it's very sleek looking. There aren't any buttons on it. It's all kind of this sort of touch, the power button. You can have it display kind of different temperature settings to give it a different type of light. Also brightness can be controlled, or there's a button on it that allows you to automatically dim and adjust it to your room the way that the light sees fit. So overall, it is a very cool product. It is very high quality. You can tell just by holding it. The stand itself is very heavy in that way, where you know that it was built well. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check it out on their website as well as Amazon, I believe. And so yeah, you guys can check this out for yourself, and you can maybe add it to your setup by placing a nice light on top of your monitor. Give your desk a sort of a high-tech type of feel. So thank you to BenQ for sending this, and thank you to BenQ for sponsoring this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, like I said, go check out BenQ and their desk lamp, or I guess as they're calling it, the ScreenBar, down below. And this time, for real, this is the end of the video, so the music's gonna kick back in. So I will see you in the next one.